Okay, so now we have with us Mr. Mohammed Fawad Hayat, Head Climate Change, NDRMF. Assalamu alaikum.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good as well. Okay, so we'll just start. Could you provide an overview of your role as the Head of Climate Change at NDRMF and how it contributes to the organization's overall activity?
Thank you so much for having me here. As the Head of Climate Change, I look after the portfolio of climate change, and everything actually falls under the ambit of climate resilience or disaster resilience. So as NDRMF, what we started about 5 years back was the overall scope of disaster risk reduction and disaster risk financing. A year later, we went into climate change, so adding on to thematic area.
Yes.
So as the overall responsible fund for the program side, we take care of the climate, which includes about 7 different thematic areas, and then the disaster resilience part comes into play. And then the synergies are created with the climate change as well as the disaster risk financing, and that is what contributes to our overall bottom line or the overall goal of NDRMF, which contributes to the fact that we are trying to make Pakistan resilient.
Okay. All right. And what's the most pressing climate change issue that NDRMF is currently working on?
I think that's too big of an issue or a question, and no single entity, no single person can just do it. And recalling from the event today, consistency is the key, and everybody has to be making a collective effort in order to reach to a goal which everybody requires. And that's the same case with NDRMF. We're just trying to play our part. We take care of the financing part, so we're trying to bring in the facilitation part, we're trying to bring in the stakeholders, then to finance the entire stuff in the spectrum. But we're only trying to take care of our part, which we can do it.
Okay. All right. And what are our NDRMF's near future plans and strategy?
Near future. So currently we're working at the year, 3-year, 5-year and 10-year strategy. The year actually gets driven from the 3-year and 5-year strategy. So we got to have a scope of what we want to do in 10 years. Because that is how we will do the backward working on moving towards that window. For now, we're just trying to finalize our projects and just trying to strengthen whatever we have done in climate change and disaster risk reduction. And then, you see, what is most important is that how much are we mitigating? Because the rest we'll have to adapt.
Yeah.
In terms of our risk reduction portfolio, so we see how much exposure will be necessary for us. So first, we're trying to build the resilience of the country.
Yeah.
Then we're trying to take care of the exposure part through our disaster risk financing part. And then there'll be some risks still left. So that's for now, not for now. But for now, the important part remains building resilience and then taking care of the disaster risk financing part and taking care of the exposure which we will have. That's the near term, actually, the short term entity. In about medium term, for the next 5 to 6 years, we're trying to build up an overall holistic portfolio for the country, whereby bringing in different synergies, climate change, risk reduction, and risk finance, so jointly all them for the next 5-6 years, so that we can come up with a programmatic approach. So during our first phase, we went to the project approach, and now we've moved ourselves towards more innovative programmatic approach.
All right. So finally, what are your thoughts on about today's dialogue? What do you think?
I think it's very important. I mean, it was very insightful.
Yes.
The stakeholders, the panelists who came in, Dr. Adil Nazim, who was here. So looking at that particular one event is not enough, actually. So this is one of the many efforts which NDRMF is undertaking. And I think we're one step further towards a goal which we all achieve for.
Yes. All right. That would be all. Thank you so much for your time.